A girl sits alone in her room, silent. Then a tear rolls down her cheek. Her eyes weren't poked, there's no dust, and nobody shouted at her with onions. She's just sad, and her body makes water leak from her eyes. But here's the weird thing. These are not regular tears. Scientists found that sad tears are not like onion tears or dust tears. They have different chemicals inside them, like a secret recipe for crying. For example, in 1981, scientist Dr. William Frey collected tears from people watching sad movies and compared them to tears from onions. He discovered that emotional tears have more stress hormones. So your body actually makes a special kind of tear just for feelings. But why? Why go through all this effort to squeeze out extra ingredients just because you're sad? Here's something strange. When you feel deep sadness, your body actually starts making more stress chemicals, like cortisol. Your brain's alarm system pumps these out to signal you're upset. But as you begin to cry, those chemicals don't just stay inside you, they get pushed into your tears. Some scientists measured this in the lab. They found emotional tears contain way more stress chemicals than the tears you make when cutting onions. It's almost like your body squeezes out some of its stress, drop by drop. In one 1981 study, researcher William Frey found that crying after a sad movie made people's stress levels drop faster than holding back tears. But it gets more unexpected. The moment you cry, something else fascinating starts to happen inside your body. Imagine this. You trip on the playground and scrape your knee. Tears start falling. But here's the strange part. Crying doesn't fix your knee. So why cry at all? When tears roll down your cheeks, it's like putting up a flag that says, "I need help." Almost every time people notice and come closer. Here's the wow. In a 2016 Dutch study, 75% of people said they felt closer or wanted to comfort someone who cried in front of them. It's not just kindness. Humans feel a real built-in pull to comfort someone when they see tears. And get this, our faces actually change to look more helpless when we cry. Red eyes, scrunched eyebrows, wrinkled chin. This sad face is like a silent signal. People recognize it instantly, even across languages and countries. But how did this signaling system evolve? And why do adults who can use words still cry? But here's something almost nobody knows. Your tears actually have natural painkillers inside them. One of these painkillers is called leucine and kephalin. Leucine and kephalin is a kind of mini protein made by your own body. When you cry because you're sad, your body actually pumps out more of this painkiller into your tears. Scientists first found this by testing real human tears in 1981 at St. Paul Ramsey Medical Center in Minnesota. They discovered that emotional tears had much more leucine and kephalin than tears caused by dust. But why put painkillers in our tears? It turns out leucine and kephalin works a bit like a tiny calming signal. It helps soothe the ache, just a little, but enough so your sadness doesn't overwhelm you. So next time you see someone crying, remember, each tear is quietly carrying a drop of their body's own homemade medicine. But this natural painkiller isn't the only hidden power inside tears. A newborn baby can't speak or point, but it sure can cry, loudly. This isn't random noise. It's the baby's #1 superpower. When a baby cries, adults feel a jolt, almost like a fire alarm is ringing in their heads. In 2012, scientists played recordings of babies crying, and even people with no kids felt stressed and wanted to help. Crying is basically a built-in button that calls caregivers for help. No talking needed. But here's the twist. Grown-ups still have this system, even though we have words. Crying as an adult works on others just like it does for babies. It grabs attention fast and makes people want to help. So when you cry in front of someone, you're using an ancient tool, one humans evolved as babies, to ask for support without saying a word. But there's a deeper reason why crying is so powerful, even when nobody else is around. But here's something almost nobody knows. Scientists have found that crying doesn't just call for help, it can actually make people trust you more. For example, in 2018, Dutch researchers showed hundreds of people videos of strangers, some crying, some not. People felt kinder toward the ones who cried and said they'd be more willing to help them. But it goes deeper. Crying works even with total strangers in places like Japan, the US, and Turkey. Why? Tears are a hard thing to fake. They show you're really feeling something. That makes the people around you more likely to believe your feelings are true. Crying can also pull families and even whole groups closer together after something sad happens. So in a strange way, tears help people stick together. Sadness becomes a tool for trust. So that's why we cry when we're sad. Our tears can bring people closer and help us heal. But here's another puzzle. If crying is so helpful, why do some tears feel impossible to stop?